Welcome to Cart Rides with Micah. I'm Micah Woods. I am here at the Rotorua Golf Club with Dave Kubien, the golf course superintendent.
That's me.
Well, should we go out and have a look at the golf course? Have
Let's
a
do
look.
it.
All right.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. What are we going to go see that I won't see at so many other places?
Oh, we'll let your nose and eyes and camera tell you.
I smell some sulfur.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna smell.
How many maintenance crew do you have working here, Dave?
There's 4 of us. Four including myself. I've got three full timers with me.
It is
two absolute veterans and then one apprentice, and he's real raw. He's only been doing this for 6 months, but he's good. He's good.
And this is an 18-hole facility?
Yeah, 18 holes, and we have other. There's an old 9-hole course on the property, and it's now a foot golf course. We are also looking after that. That doesn't get nearly the maintenance priority of the 18-hole course. So. I can't remember where he was originally from. Scott. I can't remember if he was a Scot or an Irishman. Anyway, he wound up here in Rotorua, and he had a lot to do with a lot of courses in New Zealand. But the bunkering here, the original version of the bunkering here from the mid-20s was all his. And then this is the only surviving one, or more or less intact one.
When was the course built originally?
We were playing golf here since about just into the early 20th century, 1906 or something like that. I think that's right, actually. I'm pretty sure the centenary was 2006. So.
Ooh. An island.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's the original soil too?
This is one of the, well, it's sort of sandy now, but it definitely would have been an original soil bunker. We probably are in range from these boys. I didn't see where that went. I will tell you this. So that you see the little hump island, sorry.
Yeah.
And there's one rock plaque on top of the hole.
Uh-huh.
So about 6 weeks ago, we were in here clearing the Konica out to open up the 10th tee. And I noticed about 12 dead finches right around there. But finches, and I'm not 100%, I've never seen the native birds in here dead.
Oh, it's like the canary in a coal mine.
Well,
type
kind of a thing. I mean, they gassed themselves, clearly.
Oh, man.
But what was interesting to me was it wasn't the native birds. Now, the finches have been in New Zealand for quite a while, but they weren't New Zealand native finches, apparently.
Yeah,
Somebody
so
told me
maybe
they were
they know.
Australian ones.
Maybe they know better than that.
The native birds, that's what we're wondering, do the native birds don't? Because the Piwakawaka doesn't, or the fantail in English, the English name, they, I've never seen one in here get gassed. And God knows there's a lot of them around, so. And I possibly wasn't as patient as I could have been about career progression. I'm also 52 years old. There's a point at which if I wait too long, I wasn't going to get the opportunity.
Now,
so
what grasses are, if you would say the dominant species on tees, fairways, rough, and greens here?
Here
what?
it's Browntop. Well, it's almost all wall-to-wall Browntop, so Agrostis capillaris. We do have some fescue about the place. I'm told that Brother Doak means there's no fescue available in the entire country.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So thanks, Tom, for that. I do want to bring some fescue in here, although I have a little bit of uncertainty because I am on really acidic soils. We're pH 5 everywhere, and it doesn't move much. pH 5 plus or minus 0.2. It doesn't move much, which I think might be just a hair low for fescues. It would make it, but I don't think it'd be great. The Browntop loves it, so it's just not going to happen for us, at least
So no.
with this kind of budget level.
So do you have fairway irrigation?
No.
So when you say you can't water it, you mean you don't have the means to put water on this?
Correct, on
area.
this surface. I mean, obviously, if I can time it with rainfall, spring, summer, and autumn, that's fine. Winter's not going to be an issue, but winter's not the problem. So, like areas like right here, when I came in the beginning of May, and after the summer, that had all burned off. That was all gone.
Because of the thatch.
Yeah.
So
well,
the roots don't get into the soil.
Right now it's all POA going back into that. That's not going to handle the summer heat and the summer drought. We should be fine for golf for a little while yet, because this is the 15th. So now the POA is all back in, and right now in the middle of winter, yeah, it's not thriving, but it's there and it's a surface. But that's going to be gone by Christmas time, I would have thought. So I have to encourage the Browntop, but I've got a relatively narrow window for Browntop to grow. It's a slow grower anyway, and you know, spring rain here probably done by the end of October, and doesn't start again. We don't get autumn rain until, depends on the year, but I'm told mid-April, and all that.
I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh well, you'll get that back.
Yeah, no, once we can core it, like you say, core it, start to dilute it with what's underneath it, that's the plan. It's going to make a hell of a mess for a little while, and I'm trying to caution them about how much of a mess this is going to be for a little while, but my two prime mandates when I started here were better fairways and better tees, and the only way that's happening is thatch control. It's not happening any other way. You know, if we could close the place, top it, and reseed it, that'd be great. But as I don't have irrigation, you know, that's not feasible anyway. So.
Yes, you have to be really careful with the timing of this work.
Yep.
And even getting the seed to germinate and stuff has to be timed with the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a little bit hit or miss. I mean, ultimately, my best bet really is going to be to get the Browntop to grow into it, more than trying to relying on overseeding. Small areas will overseed. I won't do it till the fall because our soil temperatures right now are really cold. So in the fall, when I've got good warm soils and hopefully some rain, then we'll start seeding. But I don't personally see the point in doing a lot of seeding right now, or well, certainly not right now. But I got nothing to hide.
It looks sensational.
Wow, nice color on those. So this is Browntop, not creeping?
No, Browntop. Very slow growing. I mowed yesterday. I'm mowing once a week right now at 4 mil, and I comfortably made it around yesterday without emptying, and I wasn't pushing it. I don't tend to push that.
Do you measure the clipping volume?
I do it by eye. I don't get really serious. You know, I was probably 3/4 full catcher load yesterday. I'm mowing with a triplex, by the way.
For 18 holes?
For 18 holes. 19 holes because I cut the putting green as well, of course. So, and that's on about, the green area is just over a hectare. My spray area, including the surrounds, is about 1.3 hectares.
I don't see any Poa annua.
No, there isn't any.
And what
And
do you attribute
pretty
that
much fucked
to?
off too, which is nice. So yeah, they're pretty pure.
And the reason for no Poa is?
Oh, I think it's the pH as much as anything else. My predecessor fed them pretty strictly with ammonium sulfate, nothing like ammonium sulfate, iron sulfate, some magnesium occasionally. I haven't changed this fertility regime very much at all. I've backed it off a little wee bit. I've backed the nitrogen off, maybe 25%. And I've added. I regularly put potassium on them, but we're only feeding once a month.
Is that smoke? Is that steam or smoke?
That's steam. That's a volcanic geyser. That's Tapuya.
Oh, that's a geyser.
Yeah. So that's Tapuya, and that's a pretty serious local tourist attraction. This land, the land that we're on, the golf course, the rest of the land that's past the lake where the golf course, the golf course is all on this side of the lake. The rest of the property on the other side of the lake, it's all Ngāti Whakaui's land. I couldn't give you the exact history of the land ownership and whose it is, but let's just, in simple terms, this Maori land, it's their country, it's their land, and we're just sort of looking after it. The club leases the land from the local iwi. I'm going to try, once it gets active, this is one of the areas I'm going to try and knock it down. It's not into the green surround on this hole, but it completely surrounds this green. This is the 15th green, 5 green in the background and 3 green over here, and basically all 3 greens are, it's just all the surrounds are
and
here.
Is
so
this
we'll try and knock it back.
Is this carpet grass common in New Zealand?
Yes. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you its total range across the country. It's rampant once you get from Auckland north. It's rampant. Some of the courses up north, the smaller, what Kiwis call the country courses, they'll have carpet grass fairways. Come feel how warm that is. I don't have a thermometer on me.
I didn't bring one either. Ooh, I think that's about 34 degrees.
Yeah, something like that.
Nice.
So that's
That's
so this stream is
You
running
come
out of the
skinny
lake.
dipping here?
I don't. No one needs to see that.
is that your irrigation water also? Is
No. We're actually, our irrigation water is town supply. So whatever comes out of the taps here in Rotorua is what comes out of my sprinklers here in Rotorua. I've not had. First of all, getting resource consent to draw from that would be challenging, if not impossible. But before I even looked at that, I want to get that tested. My gut feeling is it's probably not great irrigation water. And I'm not a geologist. I've only been here a little while. I couldn't tell you everything that's floating on there. It doesn't look terribly appealing. This is part of the reason that I'm not even contemplating this as irrigation water, because that just looks fairly ordinary. But at the other end of it, around the corner here, I'll show you what's a really cool part of it.
Whoa.
You want to be a little bit careful with your footing. There was an observation platform here, but it rotted away over the years, and I took it out to keep people off it because it was rotten. So that's all volcanic.
Yeah, you won't see this on every golf course.
No. I figure maybe Iceland and Hawaii in here. If I'm missing a country, then I'm not on golf. It's a lovely sound, right?
It is.
It's a fantastic sound when you don't have the airplane going over.
It has come to my attention, and you seem especially well spoken on scientific subjects. You're one of those rare plant biologists with a PhD who's a greenkeeper. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, what can I say? I went to university at 18. I didn't leave till I was 43. Along the way, I picked up. I did a forestry degree because in Canada, I'm Canadian by training and inclination. One of the really cool things if you think about Canadian trees, most of the country, the trees have to put up with about a 60 or 70 degree annual temperature range. And that's really hard to do. That's really pushing the boundaries of good taste and common decency. So those kinds of things got me really questions about, how the hell do trees do this? They put up with 35 degree summers and minus 35 degree winters. I was curious about those kinds of things even as a teenager. I went and did a forestry degree at the University of British Columbia. Got a couple of different professors who were very influential for me. Plant physiologists, one of them, statistician was another one actually. They were great, and they got me kind of excited about science as a process, as a way of thinking about the world, the kinds of questions one can ask that they were asking. I went and did graduate work at Carleton University in Ottawa, and also a tree focus there. The plant-atmosphere interactions really was the real relationship there. And I went on to do a doctorate at the University of Toronto, left trees and went looking at grasses, specifically wound up with questions about C4 plants and looking at physiological explanations for the low temperature limits of C4 plants. So, and by that I mean the latitudinal limit or the elevational limits. Why do they crap out? You go from, say, lower elevations at the foot of Mount Kenya, all the grasses will be C4, 100%. There will be no C3 grasses down at the bottom of it. By the time you get halfway up, there's a pretty impressive C3 representation. By the time you get up to the top where the vegetation stops, it's all C3 plants. There's no C4s up there. Why? Why is that? Because some of the fundamental advantages for C4s, they don't stop. But anyway, so that got me excited, and it kept me that way for a long time. And yeah, I still geek out on plant physiology and plant biochemistry and that sort of thing.
So the story to get into greenkeeping from that, you were a professor and then you got into greenkeeping.
Yeah, I was still, as a prof, I'd been on faculty about 10 years, and I was just couldn't good and sick of the environment. I'm not the first academic to get a little bit frustrated with it. I had tenure and I had funding and I had students and I had, everything that you're supposed to define yourself as successful, but I wasn't happy. So I decided, well, I got to go do something else because otherwise I'm just going to be miserable. I'm in my early 40s and it's way too young to be completely miserable for the rest of my life. Insert punchline here, anybody who knows me. But I figured I just thought it's not a lark because I took it much more seriously than this, but it's in all seriousness. I thought, I do kind of know a little bit about plants, and I like plant biology. Actually, I really like plant physiology. But I'm also a golf junkie. And at one point I played golf to about a 5 handicap. So I wish I could do that now. Anyway, I just thought I'd try the two together. But having spent my whole life in academia, I got to the first time I went greenkeeping. I was 43 years old. I'd never been on a ride-on mower. I'd never been on a tractor. Never done any. I grew up in the city, or suburbs of a big city. So I'd never done any of those typical, good, safe, sensible boyhood practices of going out on machinery and trying to get yourself killed. I'd never done that. So it was all new. But it's turned out. This is the office, right? This is where I work. So what could be better than that?
A question about your doctoral degree, your academic training, and your expertise in plant physiology. Do you find that it helps you in any way in the greenkeeping day to day, or does it hinder, or is it not even involved in your thinking?
I don't think about things physiologically too much. I don't sit there and I don't think about radical-kinetic constants. I don't sit there and I don't think about stomatoconductance or photosynthetic gas exchange. There's no hindrance by any means. I don't think it's helpful in any of those, in the sorts of things I measured or analyzed when I was a student or on faculty or my students did later. None of that's really helpful. What is really helpful is that if you do a PhD in sciences, I think if you do a PhD in any discipline, but with all due respect to our artsy friends, I think more so in sciences, you're going to be hyper organized. And I am, I think, pretty organized. And I know some of the greenkeepers that I've worked with, especially here in New Zealand, they'll tell you, oh yeah, he's organized. They'll tell you I'm a retentive prick, actually, right, Spence?
Yep.
But
How many of these thermal pools, or too many to count?
That shouldn't be a trick question, but 4 or 5 across the whole site. Yeah. I may not be. I'm not the best person to ask that question. I haven't been on site long enough. 4 or 5 that I know of. A couple of them are sort of a little harder to get at. But.
I see a extra hole over there.
Yeah, we've got 2 holes that we cut. We only cut 2 holes a week. Just manpower questions, and also, to be fair, we've only got 2 really busy golf days per week. 2 busy ones, two truly busy ones, 2 busy-ish, and then 3 pretty quiet days. The other thing for our greens, they're not small greens, but they're actually really difficult to pin. There aren't too many pin positions on our greens. So we rather than cut new holes as traffic management, I'm just moving holes on a day-to-day basis as traffic management. So I cut 1 new hole yesterday. That's the hole in play today. It was not in play until I put it in play this morning. And then we'll rotate that flag back and forth until we cut a new hole again next Wednesday.
So you cut 1 hole per week or 2?
2. We cut 2 holes per week.
Do you do frost delays, or do you just let people play?
No, we do. We had a good frost delay here this morning. We were delayed for 90 minutes this morning. This place was frozen solid. Actually, honest to God, frozen solid.
And the purpose of the frost delay is to accomplish what?
It's minimized damage. I mean, to be honest, my feeling is I actually think we're a little bit precious about frost, but in-season frost, like at this time of year, the plants are totally ready for it. They know it's coming. They're ready to handle it. I think you could pretty much drive on it without hurting them, but I don't want to be caught out wrong. So this morning we had to shut it down. It was frozen. But a lot of clubs in New Zealand, if there's a frost delay, if your tee time was during the frost delay, it's gone. It just disappears. And when the course reopens, if it reopens at 9:30, the 9:30 group is the first group out, and everyone before 9:30 is stopped. We just back up our field. Our members know this is life in Rotorua this time of year that we talked about, that we showed at the other end. So yeah, it's not the most necessarily appealing looking water.
And if we were here and it was freezing temperatures in the morning,
Yeah.
what would this look like?
Just a cloud bank.
That goes up 3 meters, 4 meters?
Certainly above the green.
Oh, so you have to hit over the cloud to get to the green.
That'll be gone probably before golf gets here. This is the 14th hole, so if golf starts at 8 o'clock, they're not getting here until about 10:30.
That's got to be a cool view.
We get here before 10:30. It's great. So yeah, it's cool.
Dave, do you have any rabbits or other stoats, types of wildlife out here that you're trying to trap and remove?
I haven't started a trapping program yet. A couple of my members have a history of not Spencer-esque bunny shooting, but there's a bit of bunny activity about the place. A couple of cats around the place that are clearly not house pets. I had nothing really major. Some, but nothing absolutely crazy. I do want to put a trapping program together, though. There's definitely been some possum activity, so the trap would almost be more as a monitoring program. But yeah, it's on the to-do list for sure. But it's not. As far as I know, I have no major issues in that regard at the moment. Yeah. So I mean, the organization is helpful if you're a superintendent. You need to be organized, and but you got a crew to run and all that. But you can't be an absolute slave to the plan, because you come in, you can leave work on Monday afternoon, have all the best plans in the world for your Tuesday or for this, the 6 weeks following, and all of a sudden there's 14 trees down on your golf course. That can happen. The weather turns to complete custard, again, contrary to the forecast. You can't just stick to your plan because that's the plan and I stick to it. That doesn't work. Golf courses don't work that way. So you got to be a little bit flexible. Got to be a lot flexible, but organization, yeah, it's generally not a bad skill to have. So,
Well, Dave, thank you so much for that incredible tour. This is some property.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It has been a thrill having a conversation and a look at the turf. I hope to come back.
Anytime.
Thanks so much.